What's up, everyone, and welcome to the second day on stream for round one of the Toyota GR Supra GT Cup Asia India. I'm Shades here. Joining me is SK, please. SK, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good. What a fun two races we had yesterday. I'm just waiting for the follow up. I want to see how today's races go because again, it is the same track, and it is four slots on the line for these two races that are coming up today. So I'm pretty excited.
Yeah, it's gonna be an exciting day. Two races lined up for you. Let's have a look at the tournament schedule on stream for you guys. We did have two races, 2 days of races last weekend of stream. We did have two awesome races yesterday on stream, wherein we saw Rahul Mehta as well as Dheeraj take the wins in races. I believe that was 6 and 7 respectively. And today we're going to be having two more races for you guys. The winners and runners-up of each of these races will be moving on to the round-robin phase, which will be starting this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, the round-robin matches, and top 10 racers in that leaderboard will move on to the India finals. They're going to be playing in for a lot of money as well. It's a total prize pool of 2,25,000 INR. First place taking home a sweet 1 lakh INR check. 75,000 for second place, 50,000 plus for third place. The top 10 racers will also be walking away with amazing Gazoo Racing merchandise. Let's have a look at the schedule for today. We're going to be kick-starting off with the first race in just a bit, followed by another race at 6:45 p.m. I believe it's going to be an action-packed day here, SK. What were your thoughts on the races that we watched yesterday?
I think race one was pretty calm, considering Rahul, like once he got the lead, he kind of like just left the pack and he did a really good job. But race two was insane because Dheeraj and Jassi, I mean, they gave us such a brilliant first 4 laps along with the rest of the pack as well. But it was just toe-to-toe racing. That's what we want to see, and that's the kind of race I want to see today as well. The two races that we have today, I want to see all that chaos that happens in turn one, the chaos that happens continuously, and these guys like literally dogfighting it through the first 4-5 laps because that's where it counts. And then Dheeraj did pick up the win, but what a brilliant race the second one was. If it's anywhere close to the second race, I will take it. Because that's
man,
the one I'm looking forward to.
We saw so many back and forth fights in that second race, especially for positions 1, 2, and 3. Yeah, it was in fact Azim who played it patient, stayed in third position for the good part of the first 2 laps and let Dheeraj kind of battle it out. Did get a small opening at the end corner of the second lap where he made the move, and Azim immediately makes the move in the next lap as well. There was some contact, but take nothing away from him. He put up some stellar laps from that point on, consistently putting up the numbers, getting the lead, and eventually comfortably finishing in second position. And we do have the practice session for the qualifying already live. So without any further ado, let's jump straight into the action. We do have 7 racers lined up for you. We have Abhi Thakur, Diablo 666 Singh, Garvit Loda, Tegi Sohn, Darshan Bolar, Savage Himanshu, and Fierce B971 SK. Take it away.
Looks like Abhi already on the attack, getting out of his outlap. You can see him. He's got much better line than most of the guys we saw yesterday. Using most of the track on the start finish straight. I think he is gonna start his first lap. Let's see what Abhi can put together going into turn number 1, which is the trickiest corner because the braking. And we've seen a lot of different drivers take this turn differently, but Abhi looks like he knows what he's doing. He's got through that corner without any slips, without any slides, and he is going to go into turn 2 as well. Smooth transition. Easy on the gears as well. Look at the shifts though. Very clean start coming in from Abby Thakur here. And as he goes into the arena corner, uses the apex, uses most of the track on the outside. He's going to start powering down now.
Yeah, coming into
this
it.
This is another tricky section here because we saw a bunch of people go off yesterday during qualifying for pushing too hard. And the next one as well, the Dunlop happened. That is the one where we saw it was fantastic. It was Raj, is like a bunch of people that went off here. Jussie as well, if you remember, he had contact with Azim. This is the exact corner that cost him the race. But Abby, however, seems a little slower, but he's definitely using a lot of the track on the exit. Now going into Schumacher. Nicely done. Gonna touch the curb there. Perfect. And now he has to tackle the two bends coming in. That's gonna be the Ravenol and Blistine bends. Nicely done again. So Abby looking like a very clean driver just from the two sections that he put together. And now comes the crucial part, which is flat out on the Advin arch and then into Vidal. This is where it's gonna make or break your qualifying lap time, but Abby looking pretty confident. 100 board, starts the brake, downshifts, hits Vidal, perfectly executed there. Got a bit of speed as well, and going into the final corner of the lap. Let's see, 2:18 was yesterday's fastest time, and Abby looks pretty close to that 2:15. He looks pretty close, and it's gonna be a 2:18.749. That is a brilliant lap coming in from Abby, and that's gonna put him in a P1 for today, whilst the rest of the pack also follows. And this is gonna be Tegi Sone now. He is a bit slower coming into the start finish. It's gonna net him a 2:20, 2 seconds off of Abby's time. What do you think, Shade? I think Abby is very clean. And he looks like the possible favorite here, whilst the other guys are still finishing their laps as well.
Yeah, Abby put out a stunning first lap in qualifying right now. A 2:18 something. We saw it take almost the entire duration of the practice session for the racers to hit that timing. A lot of practice as well, but Abby, I was kind of interesting the way he tackled the first corner as well. We saw a couple of variations from different racers yesterday. We saw racers hitting that apex very early on that first turn. We also saw racers deciding to take a much more wider approach into that turn as well. But Abby took pretty much a middle ground. They're taking the middle of the track, turning nice and clean without even actually touching the curb there, and regardless, he puts out a very fast lap. Is gonna be the front runner for the rest of the players to chase right now. Tegi Sone, like I said, 20 is a good 2 seconds behind. 2.3 seconds behind, in fact. So that's quite a bit of time to make up in motor racing scheme of things. For all the viewers tuning in, this is the Toyota GR Supra GT Cup Asia India. It is part of the India qualifier for the Asia Nations Cup, where we have 5 countries: Singapore, Malaysia, Thailand, Philippines and India taking part. Top 3 racers from each of the countries will be battling it out in a grand stage. This is of course round 1, where the top 2 racers from this will move on to the round robin. So first hurdle, and let's see who's going to be the trendsetters here, SK.
Yeah, at the moment it does look like Abby does have the fastest time, but we haven't seen times from Darshan, Diablo, Garvit and Savage as well. So Darshan goes wide into Vidal, which is going to lose him a lot of time. I think he might get a penalty there as well, but Fierce B very slow, almost. I don't think he had a really good lap, because 2:17 and he's still not even close. So it's going to give him a 2:21. Yep. So it is a much slower lap, and seems like Abby is the one to watch out for. Meanwhile, Garvey, Darshan, Diablo, Savage still yet to string together a solid time.
Yeah, the problem with Fiersby in that previous lap was, I think, the traffic kind of played spoilsport there. He has Darshan very close, and he's almost always going to have to worry about how far he's going to be able to push in some of these laps. I think it's pretty much high time that he wants, or he needs to rather, go ahead, and he does have an opportunity here for an overtake. We did see some contact yesterday as well during the practice session, something that you don't want to be doing. You want to give yourselves a decent bit of gap between the racer ahead, so you can pretty much push the car to the brink. And Darshan swings wide and barely makes contact there on the exit, but Fiersby, regardless, is clean through, and now he's put himself a decent bit of distance between himself and Garvit Lodha. But Lodha is only 4th fastest, so considering that he hasn't been one of the faster ones on the track so far, Fiersby might just cut that distance down quickly as well, and this is pretty much costing him about a good 3 to 5 minutes of time where he could have instead been putting in those hot laps, SK.
Oh yeah, for sure. I feel like they need to distance themselves when they come out of, come into qualifying. But I've seen that most of the drivers kind of stick together for some reason. Because if you are on a hot lap and then you have traffic in front of you, that is it's just going to lose you a lot more time. But yeah, again, Abby's still sitting at top, comfortable with the 280. No one's even close to it. Tegisone is almost 2 seconds off. Fierce is almost 3 seconds. Garvit almost 4 seconds. So no one's contesting the crown at the top, which means if Abby, if he does get a good start, he can just take away the race, because he definitely has the pace to lead this whole pack, and we can see that from his qualifying time. While the rest of them aren't even contesting. Finally, Diablo puts in a time, but again, look at that. He's almost 8 seconds off of Abby.
All right, I'm actually getting word from the race stewards that Abby Thakur actually has had a power cut.
Oh no.
So that is unfortunate, but I'm being told he's got a little bit of juice left in power backup. So he's going to pretty much not be putting in laps for the rest of qualifying. He's going to stick with this current time and try and have a crack at the race itself to see if he can maybe push his back up to the max and complete the 8 laps in that duration. That is going to be touch and go for him, man. Having put as fast of a lap as he has, it must be heartbreaking to know now it is kind of not in his hands anymore, SK.
Yeah, and I hope his part does come back as well, because you don't want that hampering your chance at possibly an easy qualifying for him into the round robin, because like I said, he's 2 seconds off. His pace is insane in this qualifying, and hopefully his part does come back, because you don't want to see such races get robbed of an opportunity because of a parker. And once we say that, Darshan, slippery slidey, he touches the gravel, and we all know that, the moment you hit the gravel, it's just gonna be goodbye to the grip on your tires. But the Supra, they're doing perfectly well and giving him a bit of control. But it's a lap wasted, considering he did touch the gravel just for about 0.05 of a second there. Let's see if someone else can beat his time. But if Abby does get to rejoin and finish the race, my bet is that he will take P1. But the rest of the pack as well, Tegisone and Garvit aren't too far apart, so there will be a good fight for P2, P3. And just like yesterday's second race, you never know. There might be an underdog in the form of Fierce or Darshan or someone who dive bombs first corner and possibly can take the lead or take the second place away. So it is like mixed emotions from my side, considering the fact that everyone's pretty good. Like, there you go. Fierce finally puts a very good lap time there, and he moves himself a little more closer to Tegisone's time. Still got a second to catch up, but I feel like there's gonna be a good battle for second place.
Yeah,
that is if Abby joins back.
Yeah, Abby. So we're being told unless he gets his power back, he's not gonna be joining back in for the rest of the practice session. So we'll get an update from the stewards if his situation does change. In the meantime, we're going to check out Garvit Loda here. He is 4th fastest so far. Starting on the second row of the grid is definitely not going to be an ideal situation. You need to get yourself into that top 2, and we've seen this being a trend with the previous racers as well over the races in the last 3 days. The top 2, if they do manage to make it out of that first lap, they easily tend to find themselves a lot of real estate, get those fast lap times, and eventually put themselves ahead of the rest of the pack. So it does become relatively hard to catch them during that second half of the race. Is Garvit locks his tires, goes straight into the gravel. That's gonna be the end of that hot lap for him. That was unfortunate. He was looking to push that car to the brink, try and make up those precious few seconds to get himself into the front of the grid, and unfortunately it's not gonna happen this time around. Darshan Bolar is gonna be coming up against Garvit here. It's about 5 seconds behind Abhi Thakur's timing so far.
And a lot of these guys, I feel like, are pushing it like way too hard, right? If you look at some of the corners, they are definitely pushing it a little too hard, and then you can see them on the exit carrying too much speed, and it's just gonna slide them across the corner. Again, look at that. Vidal, Darshan is a little too fast into it and exiting as well, like hitting the curb, and then while he's exiting, and look at this. This is what's gonna happen when you carry too much speed. You are gonna go wide, and you're gonna lose some time there, and they are struggling. But 224, 223. Darshan's still gonna be P5. No competition coming in from Diablo and Savage at the back there. I haven't seen them put together a good lap time yet. And as we say that, Darshan goes completely wide on turn number 1 there. I think Diablo's having a difficult time shifting, because I just saw him miss a shift there on the start-finish straight, something you don't want to see. Starts braking way too early. This is where I feel like Diablo's losing a lot of time, because there you go, he braked too early and now he has no speed exiting that turn number 1. And so I guess, again, another cautious driver doesn't want to take too many risks.
Yeah, unfortunately, that is one of the places where Nürburgring actually punishes you pretty hard. For racers who are not that comfortable with that first turn, unless you're able to balance that perfect middle ground between aggression and cautiousness, and if you err a little bit on the latter side, you are going to lose out on a lot of precious time. And that was pretty much the case there, and he's going to have to readjust there, misses the apex and forced to brake mid-turn, and that's going to cost him some more time. Diablo, visibly a couple of mistakes that we've already seen in these laps that's put him far behind on the grid, 3rd row, and with time ticking down, he does not have too much time remaining in the bank to try and improve on his current position, SK.
Yep. I mean, this is gonna be the last few. I think they can do one more lap after this, if I'm not mistaken. Yep. So one last opportunity, and then it's gonna be close to the qualifying, and that's how they're gonna start at the race. But then again, considering there's 7 racers this time around, T1 is gonna be like, it's gonna be crazy. Because if someone kind of misses the braking line or someone dive bombs, there's going to be a lot of excitement going into turn 1. And considering how most of these guys are slipping and sliding, it is going to be hectic up front for at least the first half of the race.
Indeed, it's going to be SK. Quick shout out to Toyota Gazoo Racing, which is Toyota's racing company that is associated with several motorsports across the world, whether it's the WEC, the WRC, NASCAR, Dakar, the Nürburgring 24 hours as well. a lot of these are super prestigious events, SK, something that we've been following since childhood, and I'm super hyped for these racers. They get a massive opportunity to represent India in one of the biggest stages in esports motor racing.
Yeah, like I was saying, it is a big exposure. It's a big step up for all these participants as well, because they have to continuously improve in the India qualifier, because they are going to be going up against the other nations as well, 5 nations that you mentioned, and it's going to be completely different racing styles. It's going to be competitive as hell. So you take the qualifier opportunity and you have to improve. And as I say that, Savage Himanshu, again, pushing way too hard there. Props to him. He is trying to put that Supra, get that fast time, but unfortunately, he is losing a lot of time in most of these corners. But like I was saying, it is a good opportunity for everyone. This is the first time Toyota India has bought the Supra Cup to India. So it is awesome opportunity, and good luck to everybody taking part. And like I said yesterday, I'm really hyped to see an Indian in the podium this time around in the GT Supra Cup Asia finals.
Indeed, man. And they get to race around the Toyota Supra car, an iconic sports car and Grand Tourer. Has been in around since 1978, an amazing car in itself. All racers are using the RZ20 version, the N400 category car, and I did get a word from the race stewards that Abhi Thakur's got power back. So this is him trying to put in a few more fast laps, but I think as of now he's done just about enough to keep the lead. It's only 0.3 of a second though behind is gonna be Tegi Sone. I think he's got enough time maybe to put in this lap, but time is gonna be it's gonna be very touch and go. Abhi Thakur though is gonna be counting his lucky stars, SK. After putting in this kind of a lap time for qualifying, it would have been heartbreak if he couldn't see through the entire race.
Yeah, I'm really hoping Abhi can qualify. Can play the race, because if you look at Tegisone, he's actually closed down that gap now, and he's put in a very good lap time, only 6/100ths of a second between Abhi and him, considering that we did start at almost like a 2-second difference. So Tegisone is getting comfortable, and let's see, man. I'm keeping my fingers crossed, hoping to see Abhi on the race, and I do see him.
Yeah, he is in. He made it in
hopefully,
with 5 minutes remaining. He did get power back, so hopefully he's able to keep it for the rest of the race here as the lights begin to count down the time here for race number 8, and it's a go. Abhi's got a fantastic start there, a little slow off the line here for Tegisone, and Fierceby is immediately going to jump on that opportunity, but Tegisone is going to have the inside line coming into turn 1, and is he going to get challenged up? In fact, Garvit Lodha is going to kick it in, makes it all the way to third. Darshan Bowler with a close fourth. Who has the inside line? I think it's Tegisone who continues to hold on, but Abhi Thakur punching in the time. He's already putting in a second lead. Fierceby, Tegisone, both in third and fourth respectively. Darshan Bowler gets pushed a little bit towards the wide side there, but I think he will eventually have to settle in for fifth as Garvit Lodha is not taking his foot off the pedal. He continues to push that car to the limits. And as things settle, I think there's some contact at the back as well. Garvit Lodha goes for an aggressive play. Darshan Bowler on the outside has to concede that place across, and looks like he's not going to give up just yet. He's already looking down the outside. He's ready to make that move. Coming in towards the hairpin here. Is going to swing a little wide there. I think there was a little bit of a lockup on the car, a little bit of a slide, and Garvit Lodha gets a decent exit out of the curve, and that's going to give him a little bit of a breather there, SK.
Yeah, this is an exciting start there, but Abhi Thakur already making about 2 seconds between him and Fierceby, and Fierceby actually overtook Tegisone in the last corner towards the arch, because Yup, he did, and it seems as though Tegisone is losing a lot of time. I wonder why. Is because now Garvith is actually in the slipstream. He is right behind Tegisone. Can he dive bomb this going into Vidal? Now let's check it out. I think Garvith's got the speed. He is definitely going to dive bomb Tegisone. Late on the brakes, but Garvith, can he hold it together? Yes, he can. Garvith moves to P3, and Tegisone is losing a lot of places, 2 places from the start of this race. Meanwhile, the rest of the pack, Darshan Bolar as well, is pushing right behind Tegisone. Just as I say that, Darshan Bolar is going to go wide on the last end corner. Now he's going to try and recover, and Diablo as well taking a time penalty because he did cut the Vidal section. Tegisone has a lot of work cut out. He has a lot of work to do right now because he is moved from second to 4th, something that you don't want to happen in this race, because let me remind you guys that it's only the first 2 places that are going to qualify, and Tegisone, who qualified second, is now in 4th place, and he has to fight for his spot into the round robin.
Yeah, Tegisone is immediately going to try and overtake Mirror, almost forces Garvith Lora to go wide, and he does! He is on the exit, he goes very wide, but there is a decent bit of extra bit of track there, allowing Garvith Lora to actually make his way back in. So he's able to hold on to his 3rd place, but Tegisone, there is contact, and Garvith Lora readjusts back out quickly. But I think there is just enough space for Tegisone to continue to stay on the aggressive, coming in towards the hairpin, and he's clearly got the advantage. Can he stick it here? He will. Holds in. Garvith Lora, though, still continuing to look down the inside, and he gets contact on the side. They're going toe to toe for this. The Schumacher S-bend. They're gonna be able to stay up front and stick it together, but I think the next 2 bends, really slow bends, not the ideal opportunity to overtake here, but coming out of the exit of the 2nd bend, moving into the arch, that's going to be the fastest section of the Nürburgring GP circuit, where Tegisone will get another opportunity to try and pass Garvith Lora SK.
Yeah, this is exactly where he needs to stay in the slipstreams, keep that gap closed, because Garvith is actually 800ths of a second. So I don't think this is going to give Tegisone an opportunity this time around, but he does get the speed advantage, and he should take Vidal perfectly if he wants to try another attempt on the start-finish stretch, and that's exactly what Tegisone is doing. But Garvith, 800ths of a second, already pulling away into the last corner. Whilst we say this, Abby Thakur and Fierce Speed, they're just having a race of their own. Abby is pulling away, and we see the start-finish straight here. Fierce P as well, very comfortable, and it's going to be a tall task for Garvith and Tegisone now to catch up, because if they continue to do this, they will not be able to catch up, because if you look at the time here, Fierce P is pushing pretty hard, and Garvith goes wide there, which is going to give Tegisone an opportunity to come back into T1. And now he's on the outside for turn number 2. He's going to stick it this time around. A lot of grip on the Supra. Garvith is going to lose it on the inside. But Tegisone, aggressive stuff coming in from Tegisone, forcing Garvith to take like a weird racing line there. But Garvith now in the slipstream is going to try and get Tegisone down this straight here. That's exactly what he's going to do. Dive bomb onto left. Not enough. Tegisone is going to shut the door as he moves ahead. Brilliant move coming in from Tegisone, capitalizing on that wide corner on turn 1 by Garvith.
Yeah, Tegisone, their aggressive move on the outside, forcing Garvith Lora to actually break on the inside line and allow Tegisone space there. If he did make contact, it was going to be Garvith Lora out of the track and potentially out of this reckoning for 3rd place. But as things stand, he's going to play the long game. It is still only lap 3 of 8. So they've got a long way to go in this race. Opportunities will be there for Garvith Lora if he can continue to stay at the back of Tegisone and try and force him into an error.
And all this fighting has just given an opportunity for Abby and Fierceby to like move away further ahead. You can see the gap there, 4.5 seconds. Tegisone now, he has to push because he needs the second spot. That was rightfully his qualifying spot, but unfortunately, the race start was pretty slow from Tegisone. He lost 2 places, gained one now from Garvith, but he's got to close in 4 seconds if he wants to qualify into the round robin. And as we said, look at Abby there, 4.2 seconds ahead, 2:19 fastest lap of the race already, and Abby looking mighty comfortable up ahead there.
Yeah, he's gonna continue to punch in the time, and unless there's a big mistake, I think Abhi Thakur is gonna be in a good position to take the victory. Fierceby, let's not forget, he did start second row, if I'm not mistaken, SK, and he was one of the drivers who benefited in that first 2-corner fight. He manages to squeeze himself into that second position and has, thanks to the fight between Tegisone and Garvit Lodha, found himself some real estate on the track to hold his own, continue to keep extending that lead to a point where now he feels pretty comfortable in holding on to that second spot for the rest of the race.
Yeah, for sure. He was patient in there, but he was also attacking Tegisone in the start there. While I think he got a very good start, and he kept the racing line, and he kind of pushed towards Tegisone and forced him to make an error. So Fierceby, even though he didn't have a good qualifying time, he did have the advantage there going in because Garvit and Tegisone were in a fight, and Fierceby was just like, you know what, I'm going to take advantage of this, get ahead, and I'm going to start putting consistent times. And look at the gap opening up now. Tegisone is got 1 second, but he's also caught up a whole second towards Fierceby, which is going to tell you that Tegisone here has the race pace and has the amount of laps to catch up to Fierceby. But just looking at it, he might catch up in lap 7 or 8 if he continues this pace, and he's going to get one shot in the final lap to overtake Fierceby. So big props to Tegisone now. He's getting in that mindset, he's getting in that groove, and he is going to continue pushing now. You can see the gap opening up there between him and Garvit, 2 seconds, and he's closing the gap towards Fierceby as well.
Indeed, man. And Tegisone now, it's pretty much, there's only one thing he can do. He needs to continue to punch in the numbers. He's got about 4 laps worth of time to try and cut that distance down, because if he does finish third, it's gonna be all for nothing. It is only the top 2 that qualify through to the second round. So he's gonna have to give it all. He's got, I think, about 1.5 seconds up ahead to Fierceby. So there's a fair bit of, in fact, 2.5 seconds. So there's a fair bit of distance for him to cover. He's gonna have to make up close to 0.7 to a second every lap. And considering how Fierceby has been lapping, that's a tall ask.
And yeah, look at Abby, the 7 seconds ahead already. This man is gonna take the win comfortably, I'm assuming, because he's like clean, he's cool, he's calm, he's collected, and he's just looking towards the win. So the real battle here is gonna be between P2, P3, and P4. And Garvit, again, he's kind of slowed down compared to the aggressive start that he did have early on. Has he run out of steam is the real question, and does Tegisone have enough in him to close the gap between him and Fierceby, because he needs this spot, and P3 is not going to benefit him that much. P2 is what's going to put him into the round robin. And we see Garvit as well. He's going to start pushing now. 1.3 seconds. He's reduced the gap from 2 seconds to 1.3. So Garvit, he is going to battle for this P3, even though it's not going to put him in a qualifying position. It's definitely going to put him in that podium, and it's going to sweeten the deal for him. Let's see if Tegisone or Garvit can make something happen out of it, because Fierceby is under a lot of pressure now. He cannot make any mistakes, because every mistake that he makes, Tegisone and Garvit are going to capitalize on it. So he needs to put his head down and put in some consistent fast laps if he wants to keep P2.
Yeah, it is a good 3 seconds between Fiersby and Tegisone. So he does have a little bit of buffer there. But I mean, 3 seconds, you swing wide on one of these turns and touch the gravel. That is that 3 second gap gone, and Tegisone is going to be back again knocking at the doors. Unfortunately, I think Tegisone and Garvit Loda don't have enough laps ahead of them to make up this 3 seconds, considering how they've been able to lap so far. And it's primarily gonna come down to Abby Thakur and Fiersby making a mistake that eventually allows Tegisone and Garvit Loda an opportunity to get back into one of those top 2 qualifying positions. But as things stand, Abby Thakur and Fiersby can do no wrong. They're putting in fast laps consistently, and the back of the pack we do have Himanshu overshoots the turn there in the circuit 2 part. Yeah, that's pretty harsh for him. He does manage to recover back out. In fact, he's gonna go onto the gravel again at the end corner. In fact, the previous one was at a Vidal chicane where he manages to mess the turn back out. But yeah, he's right now just racing here to try and get to that checkered flag.
And good sportsmanship all around as well. Yeah. I mean, he knows he's out of the running for the slot into the round robin, but he is attempting to finish the race as well. And Diablo and Savage, very new. It seems like they're new to the racing scene, and props to them for taking part. But the real prize is up at second, third, and fourth, because Garvit continuously pushing now. He's reduced that gap to almost a second. He wants that podium, that is bragging rights also at the end of the day. And he's catching up. Look at this. He's got the slipstream going into the Advent Arch. Is he going to get Tegisone on this lap, or is he going to wait for another lap? He tried. He did look for the inside there. But Garvit, he's going to cut the corner.
Yeah, using every inch of the curb there to try and cut that distance down even further. He's going to be less than half a second now behind Tegisone coming down the start-finish straight. He's going to maybe have an opportunity to slipstream into the first corner. He's going to hold that till the absolute last second. Is he close enough though? I don't believe he is. Instead, he's going to try and go on the outside line. Not close enough. And he's going to continue to stay behind here, coming in for the penultimate lap. He's slowly but surely going to be running out of opportunities. He maybe has 4 to 5 opportunities in the coming 2 laps to try and make this happen. But Tegisone, this man's been under pressure from the get-go, and he's unfortunately not gonna be in a place to qualify unless he can catch up to Fiersby SK.
And I don't think Fiersby is going to let that happen as well. 3.8 seconds ahead. But this battle is the one I'm looking out for. Very, very exciting drive coming in from Tegisone and Garvit. Garvit continuously attacking. He's been attacking from lap 1 all the way to lap 7 now. He's got 1 more lap remaining. I really want to see him finish his overtake. And he's close enough this time around. 200ths of a second. So at Advent Arch, he can definitely get the slipstream and get the pounce onto Tegisone. This is such exciting racing coming in from these 2 gentlemen here. And Garvit, he's close. He's very close this time. A little slippery slidey there. He's going to take a look on the inside, but not enough. Still not enough. Garvit, can he do this though? Coming out of the right bend and now flat out towards Advent. He is going to get the slipstream this time around. He is close enough. I'd like to say he's close enough, but I think you need about 200ths of a second if he wants to dive bomb him on the inside before Vidal. Unless he's going to make a big move. Nope, not enough. Like I said, he needs to be closer. And let's see if he can do something on the start-finish straight, because Both of them are taking beat all very perfectly, so it's not going to give a lot of space there. And Fierceby as well. I mean, 3.2 seconds. Still, anything can go wrong as they move towards the final lap of this first race. Very, very exciting stuff coming in. Abhi Thakur clearly is the man that's going to take the first place, because he's about 13 seconds, 13 and a half seconds away from the rest of the pack. Fierceby there, 2.9 seconds. Now Garvit and Tegisone. Can Garvit close it? Can he get the last podium position from Tegisone, or will Tegisone hold on to P3? That is the real question here. Take it away, Shade, for the last lap of the first race of round one.
Yep, Garvit has been putting in the effort. He's managed to stay behind as close as he can, and now it is pretty much the last few opportunities. He's going to swing on the outside, he's going to come neck and neck. They make contact, but Tegisone does get the better exit there out of the corner, and he manages to put himself some distance. Hard on the brakes here, coming in towards the hairpin. I don't think hairpin is going to be an opportunity for overtaking, but we do know Azim has something else to say about that. This is the place where he did get that opportunity, but it's not going to be Garvit Loda getting a chance here. He is pretty much on the back of Tegisone. They're continuing to knock in, see if he gets an opportunity, but Tegisone does manage to do good work there coming out of the hairpin. Now moving in towards the two bends. Garvit, he wants to try and make a move. There's contact, but he has the inside line. He does manage to swing wide, and Tegisone gets forced off the circuit. He's going to come back in contact. Oh no! Oh no! Garvit Loda, he manages to move on, and Tegisone, the overtake here, both of them going wheel to wheel there, neither one wanting to back out, and Garvit Loda, perseverance pays off, and he manages to take that third place. But coming down to the checkered flag, it is gonna be Abhi Thakur taking the checkered flag and the victory. 15 seconds ahead. Fierceby just about coming in, is gonna take that second qualifying spot. A well-deserved third for Garvit Loda, coming behind Tegisone, having held on to third position for so long in this race. Unfortunately will go out in fourth, but an amazing race coming in from all the front runners. A valiant effort, but Darshan Bolar, Diablo Singh and Himanshu, huge shout out to these guys. It does look like this is one of the first few times they are racing here out on the Nürburgring GP. Darshan Bolar, I have seen him race quite a bit previously as well. He was very fast around the circuit, but unfortunately today is not to be his day. We did see him shoot wide on a couple of occasions during qualifying itself, never really finding that sweet spot where he was going to be able to put in those fast times. He's going to come in at 5th. Diablo Singh will be taking P6 here, and Himanshu still making his way through the Schumacher. I don't know, he's actually making his way through the bends right there, coming all the way down towards the arch. He's going to be happy to see the checkered flag, but congratulations to Abhi Thakur and Fierceby. Amazing, amazing laps coming out of an amazing race. Fierceby did not have the best of qualifying. Abhi Thakur, after getting the fastest lap, did face some power issues as well at his home. It was at one point of time looking very tricky whether he was even going to be able to make it to the race and complete it, but God's pretty much smiling down on him, SK, and he manages to take the win in convincing fashion. And Himanshu, last one to take the checkered flag, and that is it for race number 8. Abhi Thakur, your winner. Fierceby takes the second qualifying spot from this race. Congratulations to both of them. Congratulations to all the racers. An amazing one at that. Let's throw it back over. SK, thoughts on that race?
So I don't think he was so hyped in that P3 P4 fight.
Yeah.
He didn't notice that Abhi Thakur put in a time of 2:17.644. That is the fastest we've seen in the races from yesterday and today. So Abhi Thakur is almost a second ahead of Dheeraj. So we thought Dheeraj was fast, but Abhi is much faster. And considering these guys are putting in such good times in the race, and like his race time is much faster than his qualifying time, which is kind of surprising to me. But Abhi Thakur, what a brilliant race there. But a huge shout out to the P3 and P4 guys. I mean, Tegisone and Garvit, what a fight there. I have a feeling Tegisone will have something to say to Garvit after that, because that was a very aggressive move. And if they were fighting for P2, I think there would have been a little bit of heated argument there, but luckily it was for P3 and Fierce B there, taking advantage of this whole dogfight that was happening there, puts himself in second place, puts in some consistent laps, and he's going to secure himself a spot in the round robin. So brilliant race coming in, and that was exciting. That was the start that we needed for today. And I'm hoping the next race will also be much more spicier than what we saw in race number 8.
Indeed, man. I'm super hyped as well. We're done with race number 8. We have one more race coming up at 6:45 p.m. So, guys out there, all the viewers, go ahead, get yourself some popcorn, get yourself a couple of drinks. Just ease in, because we've got a lot more motor racing action coming for you live from the Toyota GR Supra GT Cup Asia India. I'm Shades here. That is SK. Please take a quick break. We'll be back shortly with more action, so don't go anywhere. What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Toyota GR Supra GT Cup Asia India. I'm Shetsay. Joining me is again my partner in crime, SK, please. SK, what an amazing race we just witnessed. Unfortunately, there wasn't much of a fight for positions 1 and 2, but that position 3 fight was something that kept that entire race interesting from start to finish, keeping all the viewers on their toes.
Yeah, for sure. That P3 battle, I mean, at the end, Garvit definitely kind of put a very aggressive stand for it, but props to him. That was a very entertaining race to watch. It wasn't like the previous two races where, there was a clear-cut difference. But again, Abby there, showing that he's a class apart, had a 117 fastest lap, so that is our fastest driver in these races up until now. And I'm hoping again we have a big lobby full of racers. Let's see how this qualifying happens as well, because if it's even 50% as exciting as that P3 battle, I am sure as hell going to enjoy the hell out of it. So I'm hoping that there is some intense battles, and I want to see battles up front. Like you said, there was no battle for P1. I want to see these P1, P2, P3 battles more, because usually what's happening is every race from yesterday, it's like once the leader gets ahead, he's just like getting free reign of the rest of the race, he's just leading the whole 8 laps. I want to see someone take the P1 guy down, or the close battle for P1 and P2. That's the main battles I want to see up now. But let's see. We have another set of different drivers with different drive styles, and I'm hoping that we do have an exciting race ahead.
Indeed, man. For all the new viewers who are just joining us for race 2, this is how the stream schedule looks like for the India leg. We did have 2 days of races off stream last weekend on the 5th and 6th of September. We did have some amazing races yesterday, and this is going to be the last race for today. Top 2 from each of these races will move on to the round robin phase, which will happen this Friday, Saturday and Sunday. 20 racers duking it out over 3 days. Top 10 will move on to the India finals that will happen on the 26th, where the top 3 will be walking away with a lot of prize money here. 2,25,000 in total. Winner walking away with 1 lakh, second place with 75,000, third place with 50,000. Also, top 10 racers will be walking away with Gazoo Racing merchandise. But I think at this moment, everybody is going to be eyeing that top 3 spot, not just for the money, but to get that opportunity to make it into the finals of the Asia Nations Cup, where you get a chance to go up against racers from Singapore, Malaysia, Thailand, Philippines. It's going to be a huge glorious moment for the racers who haven't seen much opportunities like this come by. So a huge shout out to Toyota India for making this happen. As I say that, we do have the 7 racers on the track getting ready to enter the practice session to clock in their qualifying times. So without further ado, let's just jump into the action. SK, take it away.
All right, we are back for race number 9. This is the qualifying session, and as we started, big slides coming in from MP5 and VA270. That's a weird name to have, but okay, we'll just call him VA for now. But exciting stuff coming in from these guys, already sliding around in the circuit. I guess it's a new way of getting in some heat into those tires. And as we say that, I think VA is going to be the first person to cross the line and start off his qualifying lap. They've got 20 minutes of qualifying, and it's do or die, because I feel like qualifying is so very important in these one-shot races, or like PO1 sort of races, because it is going to give you that extra edge to be in the front of the pack. Because considering there's 2 places up for grabs for you to qualify into the round robin, it sure as hell helps you to be in the front row at the start of the race. And that's why all these people here get 20 minutes to qualify and put in their best time. And looking strong. Va is looking pretty strong going into this first few corners here. Good control. Not losing a lot of speed as well. Yeah, you were saying?
Yeah, I was kind of interesting to see VA, who in fact didn't look all that great in the first two corners there. Seems like he did lose a bit of time. He's also sliding the car around a little bit there on those last couple of turns coming in towards circuit 2. Does get a clean exit of, the car twitches a little bit there again. Will end up costing him a few precious tenths of a second there. Everything does add up, and like something that you had discussed earlier as well, the fact that we haven't really had too much of a competition for positions 1 and 2 in most of the races we have seen so far. The fight towards the midfield always means that the front runners find themselves a lot of space to get in those quick laps early in the race and pull away from the rest of the pack. And since it is the top 2 that qualifies over to the next round, just ensuring that you get to the front of the grid, I think, is very critical for some of these races. There is no more second chances. This is the last race of round 1. So unless you make it into the top 2, you're not getting an opportunity again this time around in the India leg for the Toyota GR Supra GT Cup Asia SK.
Yeah, for sure. That's why I said the qualifying is just that much more important, considering the fact that, the front row and that first corner, getting yourself in that lead is going to open up space for you, because we saw what happened last time around, P2, P3 and P4. There was a lot of fighting, a lot of dog fighting, in which kind of allowed Abbey to get enough space, because as these fights are happening, they are taking very aggressive or defensive lines, and they are losing more time than they usually would. Right, so that's why it's crucial for you to qualify in the first row and then just try and zip past and get a free track ahead of you. So let's see. For now, it is VA that's put in a 2:21, almost 3 seconds slower than our previous race winner, that was Abbey. So I'm hoping the rest of the lobby can up this time, because if it is 2:21, I feel like that is going to be an exciting race nonetheless.
Yeah, I think Shami is going to have a decent time if he can manage the Weedall chicane and the end corner, because he did have a first sector purple. So it is a very competitive time that he might have coming out here. How is he doing on the turn? He's going to have to ease a little bit out on the gas, and that is, again, few precious seconds lost, but I think he should get P1 here comfortably. In fact, 2.85 seconds faster than BA, a stunning lap, and looks like he does have traffic ahead. We're going to stick with him for another quick hot lap coming in through the first turn there. You gotta have to hit that brakes hard, ease on the gas. A quick corner nonetheless, the trickiest turn to take here, Arena, in the Nürburgring circuit, but he's done a fantastic job of this using the outside curve. Pablito looks like he's going to dart back across into the racing line, and that forces Shami to hit the brakes hard. He will be able to get the overtaking on the exit there, but he was forced to slow down a wee bit. He still manages to get a purple sector in regardless, besting his previous first sector time. Let's see if he can go even faster than his first outing here. Really good on that turn. They're coming in towards the hairpin. We've seen already 2 to 3 different approaches here. Most of them liking to actually stay in the middle of the track and not really use the apex, and that's pretty much the route Shami is going to go here as well.
I think Shami was much slower in that corner. He lost out a bunch of time on the hairpin because his exit speed was pretty much low, and I didn't see him use the curbs at the end, while he was exiting. So I'm guessing it's not going to be a fast lap like his previous one. But let's see if he can recover in Sector 2 and Sector 3, because after these bends, it is going to be that fast arch into the Weedall, and that's where we see a lot of people make or break their lap times. Oh, he's still faster.
Yeah.
He's still 200ths of a second faster.
Yeah, he managed to pick up, I believe, about 150 milliseconds there on that turn, coming in towards Weedall, using the full curve there. And does get a decent bit of exit out. Let's see if he can best his time the last time around. Coming in down the start-finish straight, this looks on target for a 280. In fact, 300ths of a second faster than his previous time. He's pushing the boundaries here. A good 3.2 seconds ahead of VA. That's a stunning lap coming in from Shami here, SK.
Oh yeah, Shami is looking comfortable, and yeah, besting his previous lap is going to keep him at P1. The rest of the racers, however, I've not seen them put any competitive times yet. We're on board with Lone Wolf 2992 this time around. A little struggling for grip in that corner there. Let's see if he can nail the hairpin, because like I said, this is where a lot of people lose a lot of time, and I think he's gonna lose a bunch of time there as well. Slowed down way too much. You can see that on the exit. Not carrying a lot of speed, and that is gonna be a much slower lap. Currently, he's about almost 7 seconds from the leader, so that is a very slow lap. But the rest of the guys as well, MP5, Crazy Sam, Allsim and Pablito, yet to put in a complete lap themselves, and just ahead of Lone Wolf. You can see Allsim going wide.
Yeah, the bottom half of the racers are struggling to keep up with the front runners right now. Shami and VA setting the pace here in practice session for race number 9. They have a healthy lead towards the bottom half here. In fact, Lone Wolf overshoots the turn right there. In fact, goes completely off the track, and that is going to mean another hot lap that is not going to be good enough there. It is 20 minutes, but it is 20 minutes including your out lap as well. So there is not too many opportunities for these racers to try and get as front as they can on the grid. Allsim, in fact, skidding across, and Lone Wolf completely messes up that turn, having to screech himself to a halt. That's gonna shave a good few seconds off his lap time yet again, SK.
Oh yeah, for sure. He's just setting in some scorcher of a lap here. But Crazy Saw, he just put in a time, 7.8 seconds. Do you think the rest of the pack will recover is the real question? Because I see them making a lot of mistakes. Like Allsim, he is going wide at a bunch of different corners. And he's losing a lot of time on the hairpin as well. But I saw him at Arena, right? He went wide on Arena, which we don't see a lot of racers do. And look at Pablito as well, struggling for a grip after exiting Vidal, and his gear shifts as well, losing time there. Look at this. He is definitely struggling for grip as he comes into the start-finish straight there. So we're hoping Pablito can string together some good laps and try and put himself maybe in the second or third row. Yeah. But as of now, what stands is that Shami is leading the pack, 218.662 with VA in second, MPS in third, Lone Wolf in fourth, Crazy Sam in fifth, Allsim in sixth, and Pablito in seventh.
MPS is pushing himself hard here, gets his personal best sector time in the practice so far, coming up towards the chicane here. Is gonna brake actually very hard, and it's gonna lose a lot of pace coming out of the exit. Not the cleanest exit out of the chicane either. Struggling there to try and catch that racing line, goes very close to the barrier as well on the exit. Not ideal to say the least, and he's gonna clock in a 25. It's still a personal best, but way off the front runners. Is good 6.3 seconds away. So I think we've already seen the front two kind of put a distance between themselves and the rest of the pack. Clearly have two racers right now who are able to put in very oh, what? Shami! Oh! He goes into the pit and even manages to smash into the pit entrance. Oh no!
That's one of the weirdest entrances I've seen. But hey, it's a very we say eventful qualifying because there's a lot of slipping, sliding going on, a lot of cars crashing. But also, VA and Shami still keeping their lead. So these are two guys to watch out for. But MPS as well is trying to put in a faster time. He's currently about 3 seconds behind VA, but I think it's gonna be another race where the front two runners are much faster right now, because in terms of pace, if you look at it, they are almost 3 seconds and 7 seconds off of the second row, which is MPS and Lone Wolf. So I'm guessing if Shami is allowed to get a good start, or if he gets a good start himself, he is going to possibly win the race unless he makes like huge errors.
And it's also going to come down to how clean of a start Shami and VA get during the race. I think if MPS and Lone Wolf are to give themselves an opportunity into getting into those top two positions, it has definitely got to be down to them challenging VA at turn one. We've seen situations where if that doesn't become the case, the front two runners are able to just straight up put in crazy lap times and build that lead over the initial first half of the race, pretty much putting them out of touching distance for the rest. So here's to hoping that MPS either can put in a fast time right here during qualifying. If not, probably hope for the best race start he can manage to muster up to try and overtake VA for that second spot. But I think qualifying, everybody right now have pretty much settled into their rhythm. I think we're not going to see any crazy switch ups for the rest of the session. You should be able to stay up. In fact, as soon as I say that, Crazy manages to best himself yet again, but 6.2 seconds still behind the leader, 4.1 seconds behind VA. I think he's almost certainly going to be starting on the second row of the grid, SK.
Yeah, it looks as though he's claimed himself that P3. And this is the one person I think in this qualifying that's constantly improving on his lap time, because the rest of them have set in their fast, but they're almost like, they're not besting themselves. But Crazy saw in the last 3 laps, we saw him improve from P5 all the way to P3. So big props to this man right here. Hopefully he can get a good start and put himself in that top 2 position, which will give him that edge and qualify him towards the round robin as well. So but the rest of the guys, I mean, what do you think about Lone Wolf, Alsim and Pablito? Because I don't see them, I see them struggling a lot more compared to the others. Pablito especially, he's not able to find the grip, and going into corners, his gear shifts as well, if you notice, it's just very off time. I'm hoping he does get a hang of it. He brake much early there going into Vidal, and he doesn't downshift, so he's gonna go off. So Pablito is struggling. What about Alsim and Lone Wolf?
Yeah, I think they're doing much better than Pablito is. They're just about 7 and 9 seconds off the front runners, but that is in racing, that is quite a fair bit. So they haven't really been able to keep up with the front runners. We'll be starting pretty much, I think, row number 3 here, and that means there's a lot of traffic for them to navigate come turn 1.
Yeah, let's take a look at Lone Wolf now. He's got the braking, the downshifts coming in. I think he's gonna overshoot it. Yes, that's happening with with Lone Wolf, Alsim and Pablito. I think Vidal is their worst nightmare at this point, because they're not able to get the braking as well as the downshifts on the right time. Because yes, you can brake at the 100 board, but you also have to downshift and try and reduce the speed of your car going into the Vidal, because it is a tricky corner, and we see these guys struggling at the moment. Hoping that they still have a bit of time. I think they have one more lap before we call an end to this qualifying. But as of now, we do see Shami 94 with that 2:18.662 in P1. P2 is VA, who's about 3 seconds behind. Crazy Saw is about hundredths of a second behind VA in third, and then we have MP4 in fourth, Lone Wolf in fifth, sixth is Allsim, and seventh Pablito. This is what it looks like for now.
Yep, MPS, we're going to stay with him. He's got his personal best in the first sector and he's blown it. Absolutely blows the turn there, goes on to the gravel. And with only 2 more minutes remaining in qualifying, he's not going to have enough time to get another lap out. And that is going to allow Crazy Saw to have a small breather, a sigh of relief, knowing that it was pretty close all the way down to the 4th position, but looks like he will be able to hold on to P3 here in the practice session, which is technically qualifying for all intents and purposes. VA, he's still a good 2 seconds behind Shami, so it was slightly more earlier, but it seems like he's managed to shave a few tenths of a second off his PB, but is still not good enough to challenge Shami for pole position here in this race. Coming across the finish line, he's a long way off. That was one of the slowest laps. I imagine VA did maybe go off track or encountered a little bit of traffic in that lap. Else I don't see a reason why he would get a 30 down. MPS having overshot into the gravel there is gonna come across. This is gonna be probably somewhere close to the time that VA managed to put in. Yeah, there you go. He gets a 28 in not ideal. Yeah.
Yep, not ideal at all, because he did make that huge mistake that going off track into the gravel and cost him easily about 3 to 4 seconds. But you know, nothing he could do about it. He tried salvaging it and finishing the lap, and this is going to be VA pushing way too hard, and there we go. This is what happens at the end of the qualifying when you have to go ham, like you have to give it your all, and you see these guys making all these mistakes, and I think that is going to be the end. We see Shami slowing down completely. He has given it all that he could. He's got P1 for himself, and I think he's conserving the rest of the energy for the race now, because he's put a brilliant qualifying session this time around. But again, all comes down to the race start, because we saw what happened in the last race. There was a lot of exchanging happening between P2, P3, and P4. So yeah, as we count down 5 more seconds to the race. So P1 Shami, P2 VA, P3 Crazy Saw, and P4 is MPS.
Well, 20 minutes of qualifying, and it all comes down to this, the final race of round 1 here for the Toyota GR Supra GT Cup Asia India. We have Shami starting on pole, Wei in second, Crazy Saw as well as MPS completing up round 2, and we have Lone Wolf, Olsen, Pablito running up the lineup here. One out goes the lights at the start. Shami, I already see a lot of smoke coming in off the tires, not the fastest of starts, does give an opening for V8 down the inside line, and he's taken the lead here. Can he hold down to it through the turn? There might just be some collision here. Crazy Saw is going over aggressive as well. He forces him on to the outside. Crazy Saw won't have the inside line, though he's forced to go back wide out, and we will be able to hold on to the lead as pole during qualifying. Shami gets pushed down to 3rd position, but he's already trying to fight Crazy Saw immediately back out, but Crazy Saw, he's on a fight of his own. He's not happy with 2nd. He wants P1 right now, and it's going to be pushed hard here, but Shami, he's not going to give up all that soon, is he, SK?
Yeah, surprising that Shami didn't get a good start at all. And like I said, it all comes down to the start. You can qualify in P1, but unless you're able to get that good start in, you are going to lose place. But I didn't expect Shami to drop all the way to P3, and now he has to fight for his right to come back to P1, or he's going to get taken down, because there's only 2 positions that are going to go to the round robin, and right now that's taken by VA and Crazy Saw. Just we say that Crazy Saw is going to go wide on the hairpin, and look at Shami taking full advantage of that, and he's going to go into Schumacher confident in P2, and he's going to start the chase now. Shami looking pretty strong, even after a very shaky start.
Yeah, that was Shami, we saw a lot of smoke coming off the tires as well at the start. Far from ideal. There's a lot of pace coming in from VA down the straight. He managed to take the lead long before they managed to hit that first turn, and VA has been able to hold on since, but Shami is coming fast back across. He's managed to fend off Crazy Saw and now is going toe to toe versus VA. Has the inside line and VA gets pushed out wide. He comes back in retaliation, but Shami's already taken the lead on the outside of the curve. VA will get the better of him and Shami has to brake hard for now. Will he be able to go down the outside? He does get a decent exit out of that corner and will continue to stay in contention. He's not giving up just yet. Immediately goes out. VA on the outside line taking the wide turn, and Shami clearly the better line and the better exit out of the end corner. Coming down the straight here, end of lap 1, Shami, the pole setter.
But he's gonna get the slipstream. Look at VA on the slipstream. This is gonna be the best thing to watch. He's gonna go out at the outside. Shami is forced to go on the inside, but VA gets a lot of contact going into turn number 1. Is that gonna push Shami away? Nope. VA and Shami both recover, so we're gonna see the dogfight continue. Gets a nice line into the turn. The Shami is pushed wide. VA gets the inside line. Amazing stuff coming in from VA and Shami here. Brilliant. And whilst all this is happening, look at what Crazy Saw is doing. Slowly but surely, he's catching up to this and he's hoping that these guys make a mistake and he can capitalize on to P2 or P1.
I mean, if there is contact and it takes both VA and Shami out, even for a second or two, Crazy Saw is going to be the one who is going to put himself in a perfect position to take advantage of that. He's just going to try and stay with the front runners here, hoping that VA and Shami eventually duke it out and push it a little too far. Right now, VA has managed to retake back the lead. Shami continues to fight, going for the inside line, forces VA to readjust back out. He's not backing out of this fight, almost gets pushed into the gravel there, but Shami gives just enough space there for VA to ensure that there is no tragedy happening, at least that time around. Shami though already managing to get himself 7/10 of a second lead ahead of VA so far. So he's already putting in fast laps. I think now is the time for Shami to try and continue to extend that lead and ensure that VA doesn't really make things uncomfortable for the rest of this race, SK.
Yeah, I think Shami is gonna just say, you know what, I'm done with this fight. I'm gonna take the lead now and start moving ahead. But I think it was a very aggressive move coming in from Shami. He almost pushed VA off there, which, you know, might be on VA's mind now, considering, you know, he had the space, but I felt like Shami did push him wide onto the gravel, and you know, maybe it's a little too aggressive in my opinion. But then again, these two guys with their dogfight have taken about 1.5 seconds off of P3, which is Crazy Saw. So unless Crazy Saw comes up with some magic now, he's gonna have a lot of catching up to do. And there's only about 6 laps remaining. These guys are already into lap number 3, and look at VA. He is pushing hard. You can see him go wide on turn number 1, which is gonna give Shami another second a lead. And I think this is gonna be goodbye Shami, because he's looking strong now.
Yeah, that was a big mistake there coming from VA. If you are to catch up to the front runner, there can be absolutely no mistakes for the rest of the race at the moment for VA. I think he's had a small room for error. He's already used it very early into the race, and right now he's gonna have to put his head down, get those fast laps in if he is to challenge Shami here for the victory. But that being said, second position is also a qualifying spot. So I think right now, VA's got a few decisions to make. The key one being, do you go ahead and push as much as you can, push yourself to the brink to try and cut the lead down? Or do you go ahead and ensure that you have a safe rest of the race and ensure that you close it out in second position?
For sure, I think Crazy Saw now, like he's a lot behind, and he doesn't have any immediate threat from MPS, all Sim, Lone Wolf or Pablito. So it's gonna be up to him alone to kind of push as much as he can and try and get closer to VA, because at the front, I think Shami is already starting to open up a lot of time. Look at this, though. Back of the pack, also some exciting race going on between Allsim and Lone Wolf. Lone Wolf tried to peek in there, but he was on the outside. And now he's going to try and get the inside line, pushes Allsim out of the way. But I think Allsim does have the inside line going into this corner, but he's going to go wide. Lone Wolf read him like a book, forced him out of track, and he's going to take P5.
Yeah, he pretty much had to just hold his line there and hope that Allsim doesn't really have enough room under pressure there to try and make it happen, and he gets forced wide. Allsim now way behind, is actually a good 2.2 seconds behind Lone Wolf now, who's got quite a bit of free space now. I think about 9.2 seconds to MPS. So if he's realistically looking to qualifying to the next round, he's got a lot of pace to make up. He's 30 seconds behind the leader. So unless there are a few mistakes above from the front runners, I think he's gonna have to settle in for that 4th position here, SK.
It does look like that, Shade, because he is not gonna be able to catch up, and I think this is gonna be a pretty stalemate now, considering that Shami's already 5 seconds ahead, and VA is also another 8 seconds or another 5 seconds ahead of Crazy Saw. So it's just going to split up the pack, and unless VA makes a huge mistake or Shami makes a huge mistake, this is going to be our P1 and P2 for the rest of the race. Just 4 laps remaining. I mean, anything could go wrong. We saw the start of this race. I mean, Shami, who looked so solid in qualifying, almost went down to P4 there just from the start in the first corner. So anything can happen in the world of motorsports. But for now, it is going to be Shami 94 in P1 and VA in P2. And these are the guys that are in the position to secure their slots going into the round robin that's going to happen in the coming week.
Yeah, for now, Shami putting in some fast laps there. He's managed to keep a 6.4 second lead, and as you can see on the score on your left hand side, it just continues to increase every single second. He manages to keep pulling in hundreds of a second leads over VA, and I think if he continues to push this as much as he has, I think he's going to be having a comfortable 10 plus second lead by the end of this race. He's going to continue to stay at his absolute fast pace coming in down the straight. VA behind 6.6 seconds now. Crazy Saw is actually a good 11.9 seconds behind VA. So there's a fair bit of distance already between 2 and 3. And the rest of the pack, I think they're just pretty much racing here for glory. You want to ensure that, hey, you get the best placement possible considering the kind of start that you've had. And we did see, in fact, Lone Wolf and Allsim in a tussle earlier. And I think Lone Wolf, his objective is going to be to try and chip off some of that 9 seconds from MPS and see if he can challenge for that 4th position, SK.
Oh yeah, he has. I mean, he has a lot of work to do if he has to catch up at the moment. And we see Pablito still kind of struggling for grip at the back of the pack, and they're gonna enter with his 5th lap, number 5 of lap number 8. But like I said in the start, it is all the action happens in the first 3 laps. I feel like that's what we've been witnessing throughout. Like, you know, this is race number 4 in the past 2 days, and we've noticed that once the excitement dies down after lap 3 or 4, the leader is generally the one that just kind of has a race of his own. He's just cruising along, and that's what Shami's doing at the moment. He's got about 7.6 seconds ahead, nothing to worry about. He can like slow down if he wants to, but look at the state of his car. It looks like, you know, he just got out of a war, and that's exactly what he did, because he dropped down to P3, came back to P1, rightfully took his place, and now he is looking to qualify to the round robin. And VA as well. I think VA and Crazy Saw, they've, if you look at the mini map on the right side, top right of your screen, you'll see how distant everyone else is. It's split up by a lot of seconds. That's like 5 to 7 seconds on an average. And if you see, look at VA, he's also like 7.8 seconds. So everyone is equivalent in terms of the distance, and there's no immediate threat to anyone's position, which means this is just going to be a very calm race leading into the final lap, because I don't see any overtakes. I don't see anyone being threatened, and it all comes down to the driver's mental. If they do make a mistake, yes, they will pay for it. And by mistake, I mean, like, a huge mistake, like going off into the gravel for a couple of seconds. But otherwise, this is the order that's going to stay, which is Chami on P1, VA on P2, Crazy Saw on P3, and MPS on P4, and followed by Lone Wolf in P5, Olsim in P6, and Pablito in P7. So it's going to be a very, very like cruise kind of race right now, because you see Chami is pulling away every lap. He's pulling away by a second, and VA is pulling away by a second every lap to Crazy Saw. So it's not going to be anyone catching up to each other at the moment.
I think that is very reminiscent of how the qualifying session went down as well before the race. We saw clearly Chami putting in laps much faster than VA, and then VA was significantly faster compared to Crazy Saw. Crazy Saw, MPS, Lone Wolf, the middle pack were having a small little mini battle of their own. And I think once the front runners are able to extend that lead, it becomes very hard for the middle pack to be able to catch up in lap times to those front runners. And we eventually, once things settle down, we see Chami, VA pretty much able to hold their own. They're more than happy, like you said, cruising along right now. Absolutely no pressure on them whatsoever as they come through to finish their penultimate lap. One more lap is what separates Chami VA from that final two qualifying spots into the round robin here for the Toyota GR Supra GT Cup Asia India. A huge shout out to Toyota India for making this tournament possible. The goal is to find the best GR Supra driver in Asia, and the India leg, for the very first time, it's going to be super hyped to see who's going to be the best driver. I know for a fact Gran Turismo Sport has a very nice dedicated community of racers. These guys have been practicing it out day in and day out for this opportunity to come by, and now that it has, is a lot of pressure on their shoulders to try and ensure that they're able to put some results there on the board. Chami coming in for his final lap has got a good 8.6 seconds lead over VA, who's got a 21.9 second lead over to Crazy Saw. And looking at the way it is increasing, Crazy Saw has kind of already given up the fact that he does not realistically have a chance of catching up to the top two. Instead, he's going to try and hold on to P3 here for this last remaining lap.
Yep, just 2 more laps remaining, and Chami is just flying at the start of the pack with VA and Crazy Saw. 33 seconds the gap between Chami and Crazy Saw. That is just impressive, and he's almost got 44 seconds. And I think Chami is gonna be in a potential position where he can overlap Pablito, if I'm not mistaken, because I see the map and I see him closing in onto Pablito really fast. So this will be probably the first time we see in an 8-lap race that a competitor overtaking one of the back markers there. And this battle as well. This is, I think, the interesting battle that we were watching before, which is Lone Wolf and Olsim. Oh, sorry. Yeah, it was Lone Wolf and Olsim, but it seems as though Lone Wolf has caught up to MPS as well. So brilliant drive from Lone Wolf this time around. His qualifying might have not been the greatest, but he's definitely had a cracker of a race with. He's pretty entertaining. And just so you say, MPS is going to make a huge mistake there and go onto the gravel. It's going to lose a lot of time. And look at that. Lone Wolf from P7 to P4. That is a good race. Driver of the day, if I say so myself.
Just to point things out to the viewers, Lone Wolf, when he did get that overtaking move onto Olsen, he was 9 seconds behind MPS. And he managed to claw 9 seconds back in the duration of, I believe, 3 or so laps. That is a significant amount of time that he's managed to make up, but he's losing a lot of speed down the straight, giving an opportunity for MPS who overshoots the curve there at the chicane, and Lone Wolf might just have the better exit to catch back up again and use that slipstream down the start-finish straight to retake back that position. In fact, he's got a real good exit out of that final corner itself. Does put him in a real good position to challenge him down the straight much earlier than the turn, but looks like MPS doesn't really want to give away his racing line. He's going to stick behind him. He pulls up. He's got to brake very late. Was there going to be contact? There is, but I think MPS still manages to hold on to his car there, gets back on the racing line. As the lead, aggressive aggression coming in from Lone Wolf.
And he's going to get penalized for it because that is a 0.6 second. He has to slow down, which means MPS can catch up. What an aggressive move from Lone Wolf that he went off track and then he just kind of punted MPS away. And let's see if MPS can capitalize on that because he does have a penalty. He has to slow down.
So yes, a 0.5 second penalty. As long as he can keep himself to 0.5 of a second behind Lone Wolf, he will still walk away with P4. So he's still got himself an opportunity to win this. But as we say that, we're going to switch back over to Shami as he comes in towards the chicane there, into the end corner for the final time in round 1. Shami 94 is gonna take the checkered flag and the win here in race number 9. The first of the last 2 remaining spots have been taken. Shami there moves across and is gonna get a quick celebratory twitch it as well. We are coming in a hard-fought second position, well-deserved. We'll take the final spot from round 1 here. But we're going to keep our eyes. In fact, Crazy Saw's gone off. That is maybe an opportunity for Lone Wolf to come up. How much seconds is there? Okay, never mind. That is still a good 3 seconds between the two there. So
I think Crazy Saw he's gone. Because I see Lone Wolf in P3.
He's actually disconnected out.
I think he is. Yeah, he's basically out of the race, and now it's just Lone Wolf who's actually come all the way from P7 to end the race on the podium. So brilliant drive coming in from this man. Look at this. Penalties all around, but it seems as though Lone Wolf is gonna hold down P3. Brilliant drive from this man.
Yeah, he does manage to hold on to P3 there despite the penalty. I think MPS managed to pick up a small penalty himself, kind of negating the penalty that Lone Wolf had. And yeah, brilliant drive, perseverance. Unfortunate there for Crazy. After a really good drive himself, he managed to hold on to that 3rd position for the entire duration of this race. And the final few turns there pretty much undoes the entire race for him. Coming in 5th, it's going to be Olsen. Waiting on Pablito. He's still making his way through. The Schumacher is struggling his way through, but huge shout out to this man. He has continued rather to persevere and endure, and that is exactly what Toyota Gazoo Racing is all about. Endurance, versatility. And Pablito,
he's going to try and finish the race. So big props to this man there. Just a few more corners remaining. One last time at the Advent Arch and then into Vidal. And he's going to see himself to the finish line. So P1 Shami, P2 VA, P3 Lone Wolf, P4 MPS, and P5 Olsim. And Pablito is going to be finishing.
Oh no, he just managed to run into the tire barrier.
He almost, he's still finishing, but he's going to be P6 and Shami is gonna net the fastest lap of the race, 2 minute 18.756. But still, for today, I think it was Abby who had the fastest time, 2 minutes 17.644. So both these drivers very close, and there you go, checkered flag. Race number 9 comes to an end.
It does indeed, SK. Unfortunate there at the end for Crazy. He couldn't really do much to try and finish the race in third position, but an amazing race nonetheless. We had a lot of action go down in the first 2 or 3 turns there.
Yep.
Shami, in fact, gets pushed all the way back down, only to eventually fight back, retake the lead, and never pretty much got any further competition. Thoughts on the race, SK?
Yeah, I mean, good drive coming in from Shami. I mean, he had the best qualifying time, but the race start there saw him push down to P3, and he fought back, and the rest of the pack as well. I think the P3, P4, that was the fight that we were watching all the way towards the end there, and this is gonna bring a halt for us. It's been an exciting weekend. I want to just give a shout out to Toyota as well as Gazoo Racing. Been in very exciting 4 races. We saw some very different drivers, some very aggressive drivers, and we also saw people that are extremely good at the Nürburgring, because with the likes of Abby and Rahul, I think these are the 2 guys that had probably the smoothest races coming into this weekend, and whether it be qualifying as well as the race, they just had such clean races, and they were just ahead of the pack. So there are some of them that we have to watch out for, but also the underdogs as well. We cannot count them out, and there's another bunch of racers that are going to be in the round robin. So I mean, the next week is going to be more action packed, because what we're doing right now is we're filtering it down, and we just had the best of the best. So I'm sure we can expect some exciting races ahead in the round robin. And of course, there is that big grand finals as well, where all hell is going to break loose, and then see these guys at their 200%.
Yeah, it has been racers giving it their absolute best throughout these 2 weekends to try and grab those 20 spots in the round robin, and now with the final race we are there. Let's quickly have a look back at the results for today. We saw 2 amazing races go down. Abby Tucker and Fierce take the qualifying spots from race number 8, while we just witnessed Shami and VA take the other 2 spots. A wonderful ride coming in from Lone Wolf as well, to not get himself all the way from, I believe he was in 6th or 7th at the start, and he manages to get his way up to P3. A wonderful race, but he's just out of the qualifying spots. Congratulations to the other winners as well through the first weekend as well as yesterday. They're going to be going through to the round robin stage, which will be happening this Friday, Saturday and Sunday, starting at 5 p.m. each day. So don't forget to hit that like button. Also follow Toyota India, follow Toyota Facebook on their social handles for more amazing content from the world of esports. Also, don't forget there is the D21 Urban Cruiser coming out later this week, so you can check out all the information about that on toyotabharat.com. For now though, it is goodbye here from the studios. I'm Shades here. That is SK. Please, hope you guys enjoyed the stream today. We'll be back again on Friday with more action. See you folks then. Until then, goodbye, good night. Enjoy the rest of the Sunday, folks.